Welcome to the mindful musings of two spiritual mamas. We are Alicia
and Shelby,
here to share our 20 years of authentic friendship, life experiences, and acquired wisdom. Infused with love and intention, our episodes will inspire those who are ready to shift their soul path into alignment with its divine purpose.
We will discuss alternative approaches to life's traditional pathways, leaving you with tools in your spiritual toolbox to navigate everyday moments. Knowing and embodying the empowered self on a daily basis is one of the most valuable practices you can adopt. Understanding that you are surrounded by a network of support, both physically and spiritually, will carry you into the next phase of your divine purpose.
You are not alone on this journey. We recognize we're on a spiritual path, navigating our day-to-day lives, and in this podcast, we'll share with you our organic thoughts as we grow and blossom together. Welcome to Two Spiritual Mamas, episode 14. This is Alicia.
And I'm Shelby.
And we both had such a big week this week. We wanted to talk about the ups and downs of living the busy lives that we do and how we return to center by using our spiritual tools to navigate all the challenges.
All the unexpected, all the expected. And Alicia, I love how you just said return, because that's such a word. You use it all the time. But when you said return to center, it made me think just literally turning that body back to you, back to your confidence, back to your knowing, back to trusting your own intuitive self, then responding and then going, okay, I'm going to handle it like this. So
yeah, that's the question. How am I going to handle this? And making it a choice to do it mindfully with that present awareness and conscious awareness of actually how, what values are you going to operate out of right now? Because that question came up for me multiple times in the last week, and it was a lot.
You know what I think? I think it's the divine being like, oh, you guys want to practice, don't you? So we're going to give you some things to practice with. Because that's how you get better, right?
Absolutely. You can't know that you are going to be so good at doing something until you're challenged to actually show up and do it fully like this.
Right. So that makes me think, oh my gosh, of a gymnastics analogy. Because my big week, we had our state championships, and it was the strangest one to date. It's COVID and there's no audience. It was just like one team at a time and the most minimal amount of people in a giant gym. It was amazing. And I'm so thankful, but it was different. But that's the thing that we talk about in gymnastics is you're going to train your routine at your home gym, and then you're going to go to a different place with different lighting and different atmosphere and a different textured balance beam and lots different pressure. And your order in the lineup is different than you're used to. And so you have this situation that you become really comfortable with, this certain routine, but then the external things change. And that's where the true test comes in, right?
Such a good analogy.
Yes, that's everything in life can be explained through balance beam. And my daughter just came in with some mac and cheese, just letting you know.
Oh, that's awesome.
Thank you,
sweet.
I'm not going to chew this, but speaking of, she's actually the Vermont state champion on balance beam.
Yay.
So that was very divinely timed.
Right. She heard you talking about her.
Oh my God. But I think that's what you and I were talking about before we started recording was that practice inside of this toolbox. We're going to use this discernment and this breath work and all of the things. And you're like, I got this. And then you have a new human being that comes into your sphere and you're like, oh, I haven't done it with this person yet. Let me navigate around their energy. So I think that's what we kind of want to talk about is how do you know when to be like, I'm going to dive in or say, actually, this one is not even, I'm not going to touch it. you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and you
And
say, thank you, no, thank you, you know?
the other question we got from our listener was knowing when to speak up and when to walk away.
Yes.
And I have a thing that I would love your input on and our listeners if they want to cast their vote. I had a really tough day on Monday. Monday was like, I haven't had a hard day like that in a really long time. And three big things happened, and I had to navigate them like one after the other. And the biggest, most challenging one had to do with I know if you guys have been listening, you know, I moved recently and I had a deposit down on the home, security deposit that I've been waiting to get back. I've moved over a month ago now, and I called to find out, and they said I'm not getting my full deposit back because they needed to repaint because I had painted. But also didn't think I was only going to be there for a year. I thought I was going to be there a long time. And I also forgot that I was supposed to repaint. If I had painted, I needed to paint it back. And there was some miscommunications and emails. And, I was telling Shelby earlier, this whole back and forth and the challenge of communicating, especially when that fire inside of me, like I felt anger and frustration and inadequacy and so
Mm.
many challenging emotions going through me that really challenged my centeredness. They challenged my ability to feel kindness. I mean, oh my gosh, I was
Well,
so mad.
when you lose a large amount of money, that's always a very sinking feeling
Yes,
because
exactly. The
you're,
deflated. That's how I
yeah,
kept describing. I was like, I'm
deflated.
feeling pretty deflated today.
Yeah.
And so I did push back a little bit and I got the realization that okay, I was actually in the wrong. I should have painted it back. And it would have cost me way less than what they were going to withhold from me. So I'm disappointed in myself and I'm trying to figure out how to shift my energy. And the first thing I did was go outside, take a breath, lay
Mhm.
down in the sunshine, like let the sun try to recharge me, try to breathe into, okay, it's going to be okay. I don't need that money. Okay. So then I went to that mindset of shifting. Well, it's the universe's money. It's not my money. That's my
Mm.
Tosha Silver reference. She's always saying, it's not your money. That's actually the title of the book. Um, it belongs to the divine. It's all energy. It flows through us. Don't be too attached. And this can go for anyone's issues with anything that has to do with attachment or I was
Mhm.
planning on spending that money on something or paying off my credit card debt or whatever. You have a plan and an idea of what something is going to turn out like, and now it's different,
Yeah.
and you've
And
got
you're
to
disappointed.
navigate the emotions of it, the how do I figure out what to do with it. And it was really amazing. I did see a new client come into my practice for coaching, and I just found out this morning that I'm going to get a bonus for one of the actions that I took on that day to help me feel better. Actually, was part of this, me getting a bonus from um, my other company. And then, so I'm like, okay, the money's coming back to me. I didn't
Mhm.
need to worry about the money. It wasn't about that. It's about, do I fight back? Do I push back on it? Do I speak up I feel like this is unfair. There was miscommunication, or do I
Right. Because
just let it go?
it wasn't like authentically in your contract or your lease, you said.
Yep.
But there
Right.
was interaction. Like that's a whole topic on clarity and boundary setting by the renters. They have to be clear. This is exactly what we demand of you.
Yes, it should have been in
And
the I went through their cleaning checkout list. Like I made myself a little crazy and exhausted cleaning that place to leave it like it was
well, there's that too,
better than I
right?
left it. And then I didn't realize that I had this last little element that would have just taken more days, more time.
And maybe that's the blessing. And I haven't said this to you yet, but you were so busy those days. You were sore, your muscles were tired. Like I think your elbows were hurting.
I was done. Oh,
And
I fell that day. Yeah, that
yes.
day of the move. Hmm.
So imagine if you had to also paint 4 rooms. So there's a blessing in here. And I
Yeah.
think And I love so much that you stepped out of the realm and you said, I'm going to go do my other job and I'm going to take charge and I'm going to solve a problem with this other job. And then that has given you a huge reward that almost equaled the loss.
So true.
So I just think that right there, you took the action, you stepped forward into what you're comfortable with and how you know to bring yourself back to alignment, to return to your center. And boom, it paid. It paid you.
It really did. And I feel so grateful. I'm like, okay, I trusted the universe and this whole divine plan of like when money comes or money goes and it's unexpected. And I even shifted the idea of the plan. Like, okay, the money didn't have to go to that thing. I'll make more money and it'll be all right,
Mm-hmm.
and then it did. It came so quickly. This is just a few days later. So
Yes. And I think that's, I can't quote anybody. I just think that once you start to live in alignment, it happens really fast. Like
yes.
you're not waiting around for a week or two. It's like, no, oh, that was this morning. This is tonight. Wow. So this is why we're doing these talks, to like really encourage everyone to
Yeah.
continue in your normal everyday life to be spiritually aligned and to do all the things.
Exactly. So I want to run
Sorry.
through all the things I
Yeah,
did that
tell us
day.
the things.
I made sure to drink extra water.
Mhm.
I got outside multiple times. I took some sunshine breaks. I needed to get
Mm.
out away from my desk. And I cut out early. I finished at 4 o'clock and said to my son, let's go get a bubble tea. Let's go
Mhm.
just get out of the house. We're in the house so much, working from home. He's doing school from home. And I was like, let's just get a change of scenery, go to one of our favorite places that's luckily open and serving. And that was when I popped into the store that I was consulting with and making sure that their display was good. And I fixed some problems and took some photos. And that's what's going to get me this bonus. And I didn't even know that at the time, but it felt empowering to do something. And
Mhm.
that's one of the things I think we're going to get into detail here is confidence and feeling good about yourself comes from action. So
Mhm.
it was important to me to,
Repetitive action.
yeah, to get outside multiple times, to drink water and remember to do that, to go do something that I felt really confident in myself in doing. And then, just to top it all off and to give my partner some awesome credit, he said, why don't you buy a bottle of Prosecco and we'll celebrate that you got any of that money back? Like I was
Oh,
still
yes.
going to get more than half of it back. And there was even that fear of, oh no, what if I don't get it all back? But just to feel grateful, okay, I did get, and that was money I didn't have. I'm like, okay, well, I'll plan to put that to exactly what I was planning before. So
I
that
love
was
that.
so helpful. And by the end of the evening, I just felt like, okay, I did all the things I could do to empower myself, to shift my attitude, to shift my perspective, to see the good, to trust the universe. And it really worked.
It worked.
I went to bed, like you say, Shelby, I went to bed with a clear mind and just easily felt good about myself, just slept like a baby.
Bravo. Bravo. I'm so glad to hear you slept like a baby. After such a long day, sometimes you can get that spinning brain
Yeah.
but look at you, you really trusted what you did. So congrats, woman.
Thank you. Yeah, it all
Yay.
works out when you focus on the positivity.
Mm-hmm.
It really does.
Mm-hmm. And the lessons, and that's something. Instead of being a victim to the circumstance, you can be thankful for the lessons, for the advancement of knowledge, for the experience of having to go through it. It's not always easy to say that in the exact moment when you're just like want to rip your hair out or cry.
And it's maybe very appropriate, not the ripping the hair out part, but crying or,
Yes.
there was another day this week, I felt frustrated. I was like, I should just go for a run, just get the frustration out and just run, 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 run,
Well,
run.
you're
And
good
that'll
at
help
that.
me.
That feet hitting the earth.
It brings me back to presence. It
Mm.
really does. Like all I'm doing in this moment is one foot in front of the other.
Well, it makes me laugh about the crying because last night had this huge, we're renovating our gym,
Yeah.
which is like worse than, it's like renovating your entire house at once because it's
Like rearranging
twice,
all the furniture,
all of it,
putting imagine your kitchen and changing everything where
every
everything
drawer.
is.
And it's just, we just renovated it and it's going to be amazing. It's not there yet.
But you trust that it will
But
be.
I absolutely trust, but it's also unfamiliar right now. And you run into all these hiccups and you move one thing and, like in your living room, you're like, I didn't realize the carpet was so stained. Now there's this really bright spot of carpet and this really stained. And so now I'm like, oh, the whole wall has to be repainted. That wasn't on my agenda.
Oh,
Um,
geez.
but either way, I got home last night and I also had to have a dishwasher installed. And because there's just, it's, what is it? The Aries moon. What are we in?
Oh, yeah. We had the Aries new moon. There was so
Yeah.
much activity in Aries and
So
yeah,
much,
big
so
energy
much.
happening right now.
So after 2 full days of renovations, I have someone coming over to help me install the dishwasher. And I just looked at him and I had written to him earlier. I said, could you just bring some beer? This is my toolbox right now. It's a nice half of Weissen and and I don't drink a lot. So it was just like cracked it open. I started drinking it. And then I looked at it and I said, if I start crying at any point tonight, just let it go. Just be like one with it. Cause it's how I'm going to release today and yesterday. I'm happy. I was like, I'm happy. I'm just letting go. Okay. And he was like, no problem. It was awesome. So now I have a dishwasher after I think 6
Yay.
months
Oh my gosh.
and 3 teenagers.
No
Yeah.
wonder you've been telling so many stories about hand washing your dishes. How do we get
Yeah.
our children to wash our dishes?
I didn't. No.
It's hard. We don't
We
have any
don't,
good advice on that, so don't ask.
yeah, this is not the 2 dishwashing mamas episode at all or ever.
Favorite task. We had big family talk about it on Friday last week of where dirty dishes go. Do they go in the sink? Do they go next to the sink?
Oh
Everybody
gosh.
had different ideas about it, and I'm like, okay, well, we're just gonna
Why don't we
try
just
to use
not
the
create them? We
dishwasher
just,
more.
yeah, yeah. Oh my goodness. So let's go back to upheavaling. Is that a word?
It is now. We got upheavaled.
Up, when you're in the upheavaling moments of your life. It was just so awesome. Again, back to the experiences of ripping the gym up. I mean, we had the gym the same way for 11 years. I mean, obviously we upgraded here and there, but we literally switched the entire bars. We rebolted them. I had some friends come up that are amazing and they know how to drill and do cement and all the things that I don't want to ever know how to do. And they did it. And so, it was shocking. And my daughter, we did the whole thing and like we're sweaty and dirty. And she looks at me, she goes, Mommy, I don't think I like it. And I'm like, oh God, don't say that because I'm exhausted. But I said, I understand. I
Yeah.
understand. It's so new, honey. And we had so many amazing memories. We're going to be okay though, because we don't even know the potential of this new layout. Like that's the thrilling part. And like the joy that we get to experience over the next 6 months of like, oh, this fits here and this drill can go there. And this, a drill is like a learning thing, not a power drill. Sorry.
Practice routine.
Yeah. There's so much joy in the unknown and the potential.
Yes.
But I just looked at her. I said, let's just be sad for a minute. That was an amazing
Yeah.
11 years. Like cause she was 3 when I opened the gym. So her whole life, as far as she remembers,
Yeah.
and we just sat in it and I hugged her and it was great. So that's where I'm at is knowing that on Monday cause we are on spring break right now, it's not going to be as simple. It's not going to be as automatic when I go in the gym. It's not going to be like, oh, I got this, it's going to be like, oh, I got to think about everything. I got to think about where I step. I got to think, like you just said, if you put all the utensils in a different drawer, I'd have a harder time cooking. It wouldn't be so like, let me put on my favorite podcast and just cook. I'd have to, so it's just like, it's thrilling and daunting and emotional and all of it. And so that's where I'm
And
at.
so you need to remember, we all need to remember to be gentle with ourselves. This
Okay.
self-care, the kindness, the leaving yourself a little extra time,
Mm,
taking extra deep breaths, like not getting frustrated you can't find something or that it feels awkward or difficult. And reminding the girls too, like it's going to feel awkward. It's going
yeah.
to be, you said this, I think, on our last episode, like using your opposite side to do a
Yeah.
routine, or like for me it's a cartwheel, like that's as much as I can do for gymnastics.
Uh,
And I'm a right-handed person, so I will do my cartwheel on my right side every single time. There's no way I can do it on the left. And every once in a while I try and I realize, whoa, that is so awkward and uncomfortable. And these
totally.
girls can do 100 moves in a row in a routine, and it's going to feel different because, like you said, even at the state championships when you were
Yeah.
out in the competition, it's a new layout.
The floor is different. Yeah.
I think we're all going to feel that way as we go back to
Oh,
living out in the world. Like I finally have been getting out of the house more for work, and I visit all of these natural health stores that sell Gaia herbs and iwi and New Leaf Naturals, the brands I support and educate for. And it's awkward for me that I'm such an outgoing person, and I sometimes will, and I did a big day yesterday. I drove 2 hours down to Eugene and I met with brand new people, gave presentations to people I haven't seen in a year. I mean, it was a lot of new energy, and it took a lot of energy in me and a
mm,
lot of reassuring myself that it's all going to go well. You're going to do your best and it's going to work out as it's supposed to, right? Just trusting the
yeah.
divine plan with this instead of feeling as anxious as, over the last couple months, the couple little outings that I did do, I thought it's strange to feel so much come up within me that was unsure. And instead
Hmm.
of feeling excited about it, like you're saying, it's great to look at the potential and all the newness in a really fun, exciting way. I was feeling a little nervous.
Hmm.
And I think a lot of people are very nervous to go back
I
out into
agree.
the world and do something different than what it's just been so awkward. But it really comes down to feeling confident through the action of it. And the more you do it, the more confidence you'll have, and putting yourself out there, because we thrive with connection, and there's so many benefits to this, and it's all these neural pathways that we just need to reinstill
Reinstill. Yeah.
the
So
positivity throughout. Yeah.
I'm hearing in my mind forgiveness and release of not release, letting go of judgment of yourself.
Yes.
Like I know back to the gym, like when the girls come in and I already have talked to myself. Like when they come in and go, oh, I don't like it, I have to not take that personally. And I have to say, why don't you give it a practice? And before you judge that the bars are too close to the wall or this is different, just give it a practice and just give it some time,
Explore. Why don't you,
explore.
yeah, even put it in that perspective?
But like going back out in public, like you just said, it's important to practice things. We haven't practiced going out in public. We haven't practiced being in a room full of people without a mask on. So the anxiety that I know I feel, like when our governor just changed some rules and gave us a projection of that July 1st, and I'm like, oh, am I ready for that? Am I ready? Like for all the parents to want to come back in the gym and for me to have 50 children in my gym instead of just 27. And,
Yep.
it's like, so I know that we all have to remember or remind ourselves to build what are our new shields, what are our new energetic boundaries that we are accepting of now, because they're different than they were a
True.
year and a half ago. We've learned a lot about ourselves and in our in our own personal boundaries. So how are we going to set those as we move forward, but consciously do it? Because if it's like your lease, like they never wrote that to you to
Right.
say you have to paint or we will take half of the money. They never said that. So you didn't know that boundary. So you got caught off guard. And if you don't have that conversation with yourself, like I had the conversation to say, Shelby, when the girls come in and they start picking apart the layout, you can't take it personally that you spent your entire spring break doing that for them. You have to allow them to have their moment. And so I've already talked to myself about it. So I'm going to be much better than where I would be like, turn around and get out. No, I'm just kidding.
Run away. No, you're
Yeah.
prepared. And it's
Yeah.
a really important point to say, don't take it personally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Super important. Because you put so much effort. We all put so much effort into what we do. And a lot of people's reactions, it's just their own stuff. It's their own stuff.
Yes. Well, you were telling a story to me earlier about somebody who had a really bizarre reaction to you, and I actually had a similar a friend tell me a similar story. Someone insulted her like within earshot,
Oh,
and it was so hard to like not take it so personally, right? If someone's judging you, but really that's those little lessons in the work.
yes. And I think in that situation, you have to decide, is this important? Do I want to go confront? Do I want to say, why did you just insult me? Or do you just want to say, that's that person having a day and I'm not going to take it personally, and I'm going to confidently know that I got my ducks in a row.
Yeah.
and go on with your day. And that's so hard. Oh my gosh, I've spent so much of my life trying to realign a relationship that wasn't really mine to realign. I'm like, I have to work at this. I have to make this all better. And then it's really been in my face lately. I just, for lack of better, beautiful spiritual terms, the lesson of you can't change a person if they don't want to change, if they don't want to see another way. And some people, I've learned this from Judy, who is shifting her name to Sophia.
Mm-hmm.
So there's our announcement. Judy is now being, how do we say that? Formerly known as Judy is now Sophia.
I like that. Yep.
She really helped me to understand that it's like a hard wire. There are people in this world that are hardwired. And even though you see this expansive, beautiful potential, it's not happening. And so knowing to speak up or knowing to say, I'm letting that one go, that's discernment. Let me tell you, that's like a learned discernment.
That is a
Yeah.
big tool we talk about a lot, learning
Mhm.
how to discern the energetics of what's important to you, seeing where other people are at, deciding through that discernment how to act, how to move forward. Do you engage directly? Do you just let it go? Yeah, how much do you want that person in your life? How much boundaries do you want to put up to keep your energy strong in face of
Mhm.
those people?
And how much do you want to just call your girlfriend, talk about it with her, and realize the lessons, and then you move on, and
Mhm.
no harm, no foul, and it's really just another part of it becomes another lesson that you were given, that you were blessed to be given, instead of that girl insulted me. Oh my God. And then you react. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause
Yeah.
like, no matter how you try, you practice, like you still fall off the balance beam. You still are going to fall out of your alignment with your intuitive, discerning, breath work self. Cause yeah.
Because we all have those moments
Yes.
of, yep, being
And so we
challenged.
forgive, just like we, like the girls fall off the beam. I'm like, so get back on. No big deal. Let's not sit there and be so sad.
We've suggested this before, and I literally did it the evening. Was it that same evening? Yeah, because I came home that same day, Monday, and I made tacos for the family, and I was just shaking my booty. I put the music on, I
Oh
put Shake It Off. I was
my
jumping
God.
around, and it literally helped just
Oh,
get
and
rid
you
of
did
the
because you had a bad
yeah.
day. You
I
did.
kept I was like totally using music and using that flow of energy through my body to like just just clean out the residual, whatever was still sticking
Mm.
to me. And that shaking and jumping and dancing and all of
Mm-hmm.
that is so physically helpful.
Laughing. Okay,
Yeah.
I've got two stories. I've always watched the funniest home videos. I think I brought this up at a couple episodes ago. And I was watching it the other day with my children, and I was laughing so hard. And I just laugh. I think it's so funny when people are doing stupid things. And I could hear my children looking at each other and going, it's not even that funny. And she's laughing so hard. They're like totally picking at me. And I was like, I don't care because this is like my serious medicine right now. Like they were doing that joke where one person has the hands, but it's not the actual. And so they were like trying to put on makeup and stuff. And it was so funny.
We should do a video like that this
Oh
summer
my
when you
gosh.
come out to visit. I'll be the arms and you put makeup on you. That would
Oh,
be
sure. That'll
so
be
funny.
great. Maybe I want to be the arms. Okay. We'll talk.
We'll have to trade off.
There we go. But yeah, we'll do two. Yeah.
But that
So
brings up the question, what is your medicine?
what is
And
your
we
medicine?
know laughter is Shelby's medicine.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm grateful to have had one of those days this week too, where the belly laughs, where you just keep going and going and going. You're like,
Oh,
I feel so much better.
oh yeah. Absolutely.
Well, what else is your medicine besides laughter?
Well, as you bring up, and we all bring up, I mean, going onto the earth, I think getting into that like 2-inch level where you just lay on the ground, like
Yeah.
just, I did it the other day, and I was telling you earlier, I must have picked the piniest place because I sat up all sticky. I was like, oh, that was great, Shelby. But it felt so good just to lay there and to smell the spring and the birds. And um, it's so weird, like in Vermont, and it happens everywhere. It's like one day you look out and you're like, the grass is green. When did that happen?
Oh, the
You know?
trees. A couple days ago, I turned the corner and I was like, that tree wasn't green yesterday. I was like, poof.
Yes. Yes. And there's daffodils here. And I know you guys have had daffodils for like 6
2
weeks. Don't
months.
even
Yeah.
talk about it.
Sorry.
That's okay. Um, but yeah, I just definitely outside, sunshine, music. Oh, this was my story. So you and I did a little voice messaging yesterday. And then my phone just decided to blast music. And I'm looking at it like, what did I just touch? I didn't touch anything. But I said, clearly this is the divine, because the divine can really mess with electronics, light bulbs, your radio, everything. So I said, okay, what do you want me to hear? And I cracked up for like the next 7 songs, all the messages, what goes around comes around. What was it? Little too late. Like just the funniest, very serendipitous messages that went along with my day. And I was just like, thank you. Oh my God, look at this one. Thank you. It kept happening this morning. My alarm is a radio, and it was like not in frequency. And so this song would like jump into clarity, and I kept going in and out. And I was like, thanks again.
Well, yeah.
So
And dancing to music is another big one.
yes,
Just
of
getting your
course.
feet to jump off the ground in a few places and shake your
Mm-hmm.
hips and move
Mm-hmm.
your body. And dance is certainly our medicine. Both Shelby and I are dancers. But I have been meditating more regularly. I'm back
Mm.
into the soul coaching program. I'm doing a new upgrade for the program, and I'm really excited about all that's bringing to me in my life and to be able to do future soul coaching group work. And so I'm on this more regular meditation practice, and the things that have been coming to me, just the excitement. It's so funny. I shared this with Shelby, and this is my big medicine gift to all of you if you've never heard of it. And she, of course, had it in her news thread this morning too, which is amazing, is a prayer that is called Metta. Metta, if you want to look it up. There's lots of different versions of it. It's like an Eastern philosophy, kind of Buddhist mindset of blessing yourself first. That's usually how I was taught, was to send these blessings within first, and then to mention that may all beings
Mm-hmm.
be And so there's like, I like this one because it's simple. There's four things. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy and free of suffering. May all beings live in peace and be blessed with ease. And you can
Mm-hmm.
say it in all different
Oh.
ways, but oh my goodness, doesn't that feel good to just feel
Mm-hmm.
like someone cares about me? I care about me, right? You start with me. I wish that today is a happy day, that I feel healthy, to be free of suffering, living in peace, and blessed with ease. And like I said, Monday was not blessed with ease, but I was able to find peace and I let go of the suffering. And I did end my
Yes.
day feeling happy and healthy. And every day can be
Clear
that.
minded. Yeah.
And I wish that for everyone. And that is such a beautiful feeling within, to bless others with that same desire for their happiness, for them to be healthy, to feel that sense of freedom and to not be suffering, to feel that peace and ease. So, that is my big medicine gift to all of you listening. And if you ever are in a stuck place where you're like, oh my God, this was too much, your busy life is starting to feel overwhelming, take a pause. Like we say, take a deep breath, go out and face the sunshine, or even stand in the rain if that's what's happening. And then say the Metta Prayer and just give yourself some positivity and intention for ease and joy, and then send that out to the world, and it feels really, really good. It
Super
shifts.
beautiful.
Hmm.
And I love that it finishes with ease. I
Yeah.
just think that's a nice word um, to sit on and to meditate with. Uh, Back to the dancing, I decided finally, I've been on a bit of a hiatus with my teaching, and I'm going to be doing a Zoom call on 8:30 in the morning, East Coast. So sorry. I really didn't think about you at all.
I'm not making it to that. I'm sorry.
I was just thinking about like my school drop off schedule and what would I'd run back home. But I'm going to do a 45-minute morning jam on Monday mornings, 8:30 on Zoom. So if anybody wants to get the link, you just have to reach out. You guys can find me. I have my Cobra Gymnastics Facebook page and my Studio Serpentine Facebook pages. And then we have, of course, our Two Spiritual Mamas. We're on Instagram and Facebook. So there's lots of ways to find us.
Yeah, look at our website. We can definitely add that link or sign up to our twospiritualmamas.com. And also, there'll be a link in our show notes. So, should be easy to find you.
Yes.
I wish it wasn't quite so early. Maybe you can record it for me.
I could do that. Okay. There's always a solution these days.
Love
And
it.
if there's not, I'll do it again at more of a reasonable time.
Oh, I'm so
Aw.
excited for anyone that gets to jump on that, because Shelby's such a wonderful dance teacher and makes things so fun.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be tribal belly dance based, but it's going to be more just about moving
Yeah.
and laughing and shaking and waking up on Monday morning, because I just really want everyone to have a wonderful week. And if we start it out like that, I've never done this at 8:30 a.m. Like, I'm just barely getting my coffee. Like, I work late. I work every night till like 9 o'clock. So I don't, 8:30 in the morning is not my gig, but I'm going to make it happen.
I love that. Well, I've been getting myself up earlier, more like 7 a.m. Pacific time, to meditate. And
Mm,
really, this whole week has been successful with that,
nice.
with just earlier morning routine.
Well, I'm going to celebrate with all of you. I know this is pre recorded, but I'm having ladies' night tonight with just a couple friends by the fire outside. So happy spring break.
Yay, celebrate, enjoy,
Yep.
and hopefully take those moments like you're going to do tonight to
Mm-hmm.
rest and rejuvenate from the busy, busy days that we've been having. But whew, so many
And
lessons in this
yes.
week, too,
Oh,
just rich.
well, thank you so much, Alicia, for chatting with me about this very amazingly full week that we both had. I love our lessons. I love the way we just reflect with each other, and I want to hear all the stories from everybody out there. So send them our way. Send us more questions. Those are fun questions to talk about. And
Yes, it helps us so much to know what you love to hear about from us. Turn yourself back to center anytime you're
Mhm.
feeling off balance. Many blessings to you. May your day and weeks be filled with ease.
Yay. Cheers to that. Bye, everyone.